episode of Lie, Cheat, and Steal, the podcast about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. I'm your host, Pat Soroyes, and to let you guys know we're a bi-monthly podcast, so we're dropping 2 episodes every month. You can check out wherever you're listening to podcasts. If you like what you hear, you can follow us further on our social medias. That's Lie, Cheat, Steal podcast. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You can look for us there. If you really like what you hear, you want to get even deeper into this, you can go to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/lie, cheat, and steal. On our Patreon, you'll get access to 2 more episodes every month, so 2 entirely new episodes that we'll put together for you guys right there on the site. Also, access to ad-free episodes of everything else that we drop, and our huge back catalog, which seriously has a whole bunch of episodes and some really great topics that were really well researched and put together. I think you'll like it. You should check it out. And also, you get access to our Discord server, which is a fun place to be, and chat about scams with like-minded individuals. That being said, I am here with my co-host, Kath Barbadoro. Kath, how you doing?
Hi, Pat. I'm good. I feel like every time you do that, you get it like 10 seconds longer. It's going to be like the full episode by the end. You just have a lot to say.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff to offer people.
A lot of stuff to offer. Yeah, you know, like that's we have a surplus of goods to offer you. It's going to take a while to go through of describing them all, but
the catalog.
Yeah.
The Lie, Cheat, Steal catalog. We're a little pressed for time, and I actually have a segue right now. If we're ready to just jump into it.
Let's go. We're doing great, guys. That's
we're all doing great.
Yeah.
Wonderful day. We just recorded an episode before this. So we have an extensive catalog to show people.
Yes.
We have a lot of wares, right?
Yes.
One might say we have a collection, the Lie, Cheat, and Steal collection.
I'd say it. I'll say it to anybody.
Today's episode is about the world of collectibles.
Ooh,
collections, if you will.
right.
Specifically, Star Wars. Do you like Star Wars?
I was just talking about this. I was on that Star Trek podcast of
right.
the Captain's Quadrant. And I never really had an emotional attachment to Star Wars, largely because of the toys. Because my parents didn't watch the movies, so I didn't watch the movies. Because this is the 90s. They weren't like, being re-released. And I guess they were released in the 90s. Anyways, I didn't see them.
97.
97.
So.
Yeah, I didn't see them growing up, but I saw the toys, and I knew culturally of it. But the toys were kind of whack. Because they were just like you put it next to a Spawn action figure, and the Spawn action figure looks cool as hell. And then
Star Wars is kind of just some guys, unless it's stormtroopers.
Yeah,
stormtroopers look cool, but everybody else is Luke Skywalker is just a fucking guy.
Yeah, whoa, look at this guy. He's a delegate. He's just got
he's a senator.
Yeah, cool. I was not enthralled by them at all. So, not a big Star Wars collectible guy.
Yeah, I liked it. The movies that came out in 97, I was 9 years old when they re-released the original trilogy, so I was right in the sweet spot for it. And my dad really liked them when they came out, so he took us to see them. And if you're a 9-year-old girl and you see Harrison Ford for the first time, that's a big moment in your life. It's really meaningful. So. Yeah, I liked them, and then as soon as I saw the first new one in 1999, I was like, these suck, and I dropped out for the rest of my life until I just watched Andor.
I saw you posting about Andor, and I've heard it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I know I'm the first person to say it. It's every single person I know is dude, you got to watch it for 100 years, and I was like, there's going to be a fucking lightsaber or something, and I'm going to get taken out of it. But there's not.
Oh, word.
It's very good. Yeah.
Is it about, about the rise of the Empire, essentially, or?
It's about the sort of beginning of the rebellion. So, how the first sort of revolutionaries covertly build a resistance to the Empire. And the best way I've seen it described is that it's basically it makes it look like the Star Wars movies are a fun historical drama based on the real events in Andor.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like a political thriller. It was written by the guy who made Michael Clayton and the Bourne movies. So it's very that.
Yeah.
It's also the message of the whole thing is kind of that Hamas is good. It sort of justifies terrorism in a way. So it has very interesting politics for a Disney thing, but it's very good. But anyway, this is about sort of the OG Star Wars fans. It's sort of the phenomenon toy collecting and some a notorious crime that happened in that community. So this story, the reporting is mostly from the Great Star Wars Heist, an article from 2019 in Popular Mechanics by a journalist named Alexander Hulls.
Might be the first time Popular Mechanics has made an appearance.
I think
on this.
So.
Maybe in the Geraldine Carmichael, the Dale episode, perhaps.
Popular Mechanics may have played a role.
That's a classic LCS one. Go back and check that one out. That's a very fun episode.
That's true. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of Star Wars toys for a moment. So when the movie came out, it was not like it's not like a Marvel movie now or something. Like, it was not expected to be this huge phenomenon. It was like, I think, a pretty mid-budget movie. And so there was it's not like today. There were not like merch contracts.
Yeah.
Like they signed a contract with a toy company named Kenner only a month before the release of the movie. So by the time the movie came out, they didn't even have toys yet. Like, they did not think this was going to be a big deal. And then it became a huge deal almost immediately. Like, people fucking loved this movie, the first one. So it premiered in the summer of 77. So by Christmas of 77, it was like the toys.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta get these out. And they're not out yet. So what Kenner does is they sell almost like a Kickstarter. They sell a $16 early bird certificate package that you would get some stickers, and you would get like a little display so that when the toys came out, you could put them in the little display.
Oh, okay.
And then the toys rolled out a few months later because they weren't like ready for them.
That's smart to give them like a physical, tangible item. Because if you're just like, here, little Johnny, here's a rebate for a Han Solo doll. Right. And you're like, oh, cool. I guess I love paperwork. I'm 8.
Right. So, and it became like so the rebate thing had a mail-in offer, and you would get 4 of the 12. That was the early. So it was like you would get something, but then it also motivated you to buy the rest of them because it had 12 little spots in the little thing you got. Yeah. So then like people would try to buy all 12. So that was like a first sort of collectible thing. It's like, oh, I got to get the whole 12 toys, you know? They became a huge bestseller. So many we're going to talk, the amount of Star Wars shit they have made is unbelievable. It is like, it is crazy. But yeah, so the Star Wars merch market has by 2019, it was worth $20 billion. That's just the toys, not the movies or anything else. By the time Empire Strikes Back came out, they were ready for it. They knew it was going to be like a huge thing. And then Return of the Jedi too, like there were big, huge, like moments in, Black Friday, batten down the hatches.
The iPod of its day.
Exactly. The iPod of its day. But then, like, after Return of the Jedi, which came out in 1983, like the year after that, they kind of stopped making Star Wars toys because, like, that's how it used to work. They weren't in like this permanent suspended culture where like everything lived forever.
They were like, that was a really fun little time period. Like, we're just gonna put a pin in that and put a button on it. That will never happen again.
Right. So between like 86 and the mid 90s, there weren't like a lot of things made. But all of the people who saw it as kids were now adults with disposable income and nostalgia. And so people started getting into collecting because it was all this vintage stuff from their childhood that they, had a affection for. So this is kind of when the Star Wars collectibles market starts, of like vintage toys, like giving a shit about like some crappy cardboard standee from 1977 or whatever. Before that, they were not considered to like retain value.
Yeah, my mom tried to get out ahead of several collectible trends, and it was like she was wrong about everything.
How's she feel about Labubu's?
I don't know. I'd have to touch base with her about those. Her newest.
Gotta warn her about those Labubus.
Yeah, her newest fascination. It's not even a collector's thing, but the thing that she'll call me about, like, have you heard of this? Is Jelly Roll and Shabuzi. She's those have grasped my mother.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, whatever. That's do your thing, I guess. But
Patty has a recurring joke about Jelly Roll that like every day there is a new article about Jelly Roll beating the odds.
Yeah,
and he's just like, I know the odds hate to see Jelly Roll coming. The odds don't stand a chance against that guy. He's always beating them.
Bad news for the odds. I got bad news for the odds. I got out of prison.
Exactly. Yeah, so like this is my co-host on What a Time to Be Alive for our listeners if they don't know. But yeah, we always send Patty any Jelly Roll news that we find. But anyway, let's go back to 1979. So this is in the second movie. They introduce the now very popular character, thanks to Pedro Pascal, Boba Fett.
Yes.
He makes his debut in the Empire Strikes Back, which never really made sense to me why he was such a popular character because he doesn't really do anything in that movie.
Yeah, that's one thing I know. I've heard the fandom talk about is like how he's never actually like he's a badass supposedly, but like he's never he's
a bounty hunter.
Yeah, all he does is like just boot it into the fucking Sarlacc pit. That's pretty much like
he shoots a guy. It's kind of cool, but apparently even at the time they were like people are gonna want toys of this guy. So anyway,
he looks cool as hell.
He does look cool. I think that's probably why. So they make this toy of Boba Fett to get ready for The Empire Strikes Back. And it had a little backpack that could fire a plastic missile. You like press a button and this like rocket comes out of the backpack. However, before this toy can be released, a similar toy for Battlestar Galactica that like shot a thing out, it choked a little kid. So the kid ended up okay, but he had to have surgery. The thing went down his throat. So they scrapped the Boba Fett toy because they were like this is pre-choking hazard warnings. You know what I mean? Yeah. This might be the thing that inspired the choking hazard warnings, the Battlestar Galactica thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I always remember I remember seeing that all over the place when I was a kid. Choking hazards on everything. I never choked on shit, baby. I made it through, and I was trying to actively. I chewed plastic when I was a kid. Anybody else do that? Is that just me?
Oh yeah, chewing on the definitely my Barbie's hands.
Yeah.
All chewed on.
Yeah. Okay. Phew, thank God.
I think that's a nervous child. I think that's a nervous child tick.
Yeah, I was just a little kid that just was like, oh yeah, like my Ninja Turtles' feet, fucking just looking mangled, dude. Yeah.
So they scrapped the Boba Fett toy, but they did make some prototypes, and some of the people at Kenner, the toy company, ended up taking them home. This becomes like a big, rare Star Wars collectible.
Oh,
it's called a Rocket Fett. If you have a Rocket Fett, you got like tens of thousands of dollars. These things will sell for.
Hell yeah.
Huge. So there's this guy, I think his name is Michael Tan. Now I can't remember his first name. 1 second. I just have him as Tan and everything. Zach Tan. So this guy, Zach Tan, he lives in LA. He's 39. He is a talent and lit agent. And his big hobby is collecting Star Wars stuff. So he gets a text from this guy he knows, because it's a pretty small world, which is what we will find out from the story. He gets a text from this guy, Carl Cunningham, who he's worked with before. Like Cunningham has sold Tan stuff in the past. And he literally says, "Are you sitting down?" Yeah. And like buckle up. And he says, "I've got a Rocket Fett."
Oh, shit.
Tan is like, palms are sweating. Like, this is the moment. This is like a big thing.
Was there vomit on his sweater already?
There was probably vomit on his sweater already. So he's like, finally, I found like a connect to get this thing. So Cunningham says, Cunningham lives in Atlanta. And he's like, I'm in California right now, but I'll get it to you when I get home. I'll text you in like a couple weeks, but I got one. And about a week later, as Tan is waiting for this message from Cunningham, he gets messaged a screenshot, which, like, if somebody's sending you a screenshot, something bad happens.
Yeah.
That you're gonna have to, like, litigate someone's breakup, or like, it's no good.
Oh God, I just had like a mini stress attack from just looking at my phone and it being a screenshot of a text screen, like
just a little screenshot.
What's up?
Oh no, bad. Yeah. Not something I want any part of.
Yeah. And then depending on who it's coming from, all the variables about woof.
Nightmare.
Yep.
So he gets a screenshot, and it's of a forum post on a forum called rebelscum.com, which is a Star Wars collecting forum. Cute name.
Yes, rebelscum.com.
rebelscum.com.
It's just straight up, fucking Sean Connery, Celebrity Jeopardy level shit. I'll take Rebels Come for 300, Alex. Anal bum cover.
So it's a screenshot from Rebels Come, and it says, "My proto Rocket Fett was stolen," and it is a post from this guy Philip Wise, who is a prominent Star Wars collector. He has 20,000 pieces of Star Wars memorabilia in his collection. This is far from the biggest one we will be hearing about in this episode.
So that's like a modest size
Star Wars bullshit. Yeah, this is like a well-known collector, but not like not the big leagues necessarily. But he has a ton of stuff. And he says, my Rocket Fett was taken sometime in the last 2 weeks. He has like all of this stuff in sort of like a private museum that he lets other people in the community come check out his collection and stuff, you know?
Who'd you play with it with last? He's like, let's see.
Right. Yeah. Who'd you play Action Mans with? What happened? So he's like, someone took it in the last 2 weeks. It was like prominently on display, and now it's gone. He said, if anybody should hear anything about a Rocket Fett floating around, please contact me. So Tan is like, shit.
Yeah.
I've known Cunningham forever. I'm in a tough position here where, like, first of all, I want this.
Yeah.
So I don't want this to be true. Second of all, I don't want to falsely implicate my friend.
Yeah. Could be nothing.
Third of all, like, I don't want to betray somebody who I care about.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like,
totally. Plug and play the details. I've been in similar situations. I think we all have.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't involve Rocket Fett, but whatever. Yeah, we've all been there. Yeah.
To snitch or not to snitch, essentially. So, but he's like, I got to do it, but I don't want to say his name. But he emails Wise and he says, I'm not going to say a name, but if you have a list of suspects, I'll confirm.
Yeah.
One.
Smart.
So because he knows who's visited his, but he did give a hint, and he said, the person I heard from lives in Georgia, and Wise knows Carl Cunningham lives in Georgia, and he says, was it him? And Tan's like, shit, this sucks. I really liked this guy, and also I've bought a bunch of stuff from him.
Who else have I? Yeah. So also, third, I'm not going to get a Rocket Fett, which is like a minor tragedy at this point, but a tragedy nonetheless.
A tragedy. Yeah. How's he going to make friends at recess? He has no Rocket Fett.
Dude, every man in his life is going to think less of him than he is of that Rocket Fett. I think if I was getting somebody a Rocket Fett, a really cool way to do it, like, close your eyes. I'm like, all right. They just feel like a little plastic rocket hit him in the face. Like,
yes.
Holy shit, was that what I thought? Yeah, open your eyes, dude. Like, that's a fucking Rocket Fett.
Can you imagine how devastated you would be if you were like going through your attic and you found one of these, but the little rocket was missing?
Oh,
like,
dude.
Fuck,
yeah.
I could have been rich. A nightmare.
Damn.
I have Eli, my other podcast co-host on What a Time to Be Alive, is not like real, but like for friends, he's like a part-time magic card appraiser. Like if people find old magic cards, because he used to play a lot, and like he knows how much things are worth. And he said one time he was talking to a guy in a bar who had about it, like just that he like knew about magic cards, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I think I have one that's supposed to be like pretty valuable," and I can't remember, it's Black Orchid or something like
Oh,
that.
Black
Sorry if you're a
Lotus.
Magic player. Black Lotus.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
he
know
had a
that.
Black
Yeah.
Lotus, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's worth like tens of thousands of dollars." And the guy was like, "I have to go call my wife," and then he just left the bar and never came back.
That's funny.
The guy had no idea that it was like
Yeah.
worth anything, you know.
Dude,
he was just like, "I heard it was maybe valuable," and Eli was like, "It's like $35,000."
Yeah, I always liked Magic cards because of how just like I like the drawings on them. I never really got into playing
They're
the
cool
game.
looking, yeah.
Yeah, but I liked
Yeah.
like the fantasy drawings. And so I was hanging out with these older kids at our school, and they were playing it. And like it was like this like alpha nerd kid, and somebody was like said something about Black Lotus, and he was just like, huh. Then he like turned to another kid, like he wasn't even gonna acknowledge he said. He goes, "Tell him how much a Black Lotus is worth." And I was like, damn, like fucking nerd mob boss and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna look at this fucking asshole, but tell him how much a Black Lotus is worth.
Right. I don't want to. He's not worth my time.
Yeah.
This fucking noob, this poser. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So yeah, they're all like, shit, man. Carl Cunningham is like our boy. Like he's around. He's been in this community for like 15, 20 years at this point. He like goes to all the Comic Cons. He writes Star Wars coverage for like sci-fi and film websites. He's like, he's a dude. And like, I'm honestly a little surprised at how small this world seems to be given how popular Star Wars is. But I guess there's a difference between popular and adults with disposable income who spend it all on toys.
Yeah.
Like, I guess those are different.
Software engineers buying $25,000 rocket fets and shit.
I mean, this is a great hobby if you have a high-paying nerd job.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't, have a wife and kids. Yeah. Like, this is a good thing to spend your money on.
Homie Josh Dobb, friend of the show, Josh Dobb used to work for a moving company, and they would move a lot of obviously if you're buying movers, you probably are somewhat well to do, and they would move these like crazy ass nice houses in West Austin, and he was like telling me, he's like, bro, whenever these little motherfuckers get a little bit of money, they all buy swords. He's like, all these fucking nerds buy swords. He's like, I've moved so many swords.
Did you ever watch Shogun? The TV show. You'd like it. It's about because it's Japanese history.
Oh, that's right. You recommend. I think I did watch like a part of an episode about it. Did really like it, but it was when I didn't have Netflix. I was watching it at a friend's house. Yeah.
But there's a comic in New York named Ben Kim who I saw do a joke once when that show was on at an open mic where he said he's Korean and he was like, I love Shogun because it depicts a time in history where there was only one white boy with a katana. Yeah. That was really good. Just one in the whole world. That was it. So this is totally katana adjacent, I think.
Yeah. You look at the flow chart, it's like katana adjacent.
Yeah. But yeah, so like this dude, because he's like in the community and had this big collection and everybody knew him, if you have a bunch of shit, you would like have these people come into your house and like look at it, and he would like be in people's houses.
Yeah.
All their valuable stuff, and it was just like honor system. This is like a close knit, friendly community. It seems like people were a little like they're all trading with each other and spending a lot of money, but it doesn't seem like it occurred to people that there might be like underhanded shit.
Yeah, it's all the homies at that point, Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like if we had
it's friendly.
If you had a gathering at your house and it was all your comedian friends, something came up missing, you'd be like, I didn't fucking think these would be the people to do that, Yeah.
Right, totally. So yeah, like after he talks with Wise, the guy whose bet is missing, Tan starts thinking like he's confirmed that it's him at this point. But he's like, shit, now I have all this other stuff. I've bought like dozens of things from this guy.
Yeah.
And now I have no idea whether they were procured legitimately or not. And so he starts cross-referencing with Wise about what he's bought from Cunningham to see if anything else that he bought is missing from Wise's collection.
Yeah.
And there were a few more of his, but he had so much stuff, and a lot of it wasn't Wise's, and so they came to the conclusion that he must have been stealing from other people too.
Yeah.
So that's when they kind of put on their detective hats and are like, we're gonna figure this out.
This is just like I swear I there was like stolen toy capers in my little friend group of kids that like in like 5th or 6th grade, where it's just like, and then like moms would get involved.
Which is my Action Man, yeah.
Moms would get involved. They'd be like, your son was over at my house. He was playing the game. The game just disappeared, and it was like, come on, Billy, did you take it? Did you take it? Tell us now. This is just, it reminds me of that, but with no adults supervising, just adults involved.
Right. But like literally about the same shit.
Yeah. The same thing.
Exactly the same stuff. So this brings us to like the preeminent collector. This was a guy who started collecting during what is known as the dark days of Star Wars collecting, which is that period in which they were not making any toys, right? So this guy starts to like he has a lot of the early stuff that a lot of other people who got in later in the game don't have. So his name is Stephen J. Sansweet. Really good name.
Yeah,
that's
right?
like a Thomas Pynchon name. That's excellent. So he was a reporter who also lived in LA, and he saw an early screening of Star Wars, the first one, like in previews. He has called that day seismic. It changed his life. He fucking loved that movie.
Did you ever see when the Force Awakens came out and Kylo Ren had the Claymore side lightsaber that had the little two beams come out of the sides or whatever, and like the internet was kind of tearing it apart because they're like, you really like, it's almost impossible to think you can stop a beam of light initially with the lightsaber. The idea that two could go out this way or whatever. And so fucking Stephen Colbert has been on his show where he was like, let me tell you about something that happened to me in 1970, whatever. He goes, I get a free movie ticket from a contest I won for reading books at school. And it's a go see a movie on a Wednesday night, a movie that doesn't come out till the next Friday. He's like, that movie was called Star Wars. And he was like, and I got to see it a full like 9 days before anybody else. And then so he goes in and talks about how the dilithium crystals could angle the things and they go out this way. He's like, because that's what I was doing. And he's like, that's what I was doing in the 9 days before you even got on fucking board. It's like, that's the kind of shit that I can figure out because I had a 9-day head start on everybody.
I do wonder, like, what all these people think of the new movies that are by and large considered a letdown. Like, after they spent all of this time and energy, I guess you're just in for a penny and for a pound at that point. You know, you just have to. I guess if you're still collecting, you've made your peace with what those movies are. But compared to the first three, they're like pretty shitty. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen most of them, and they're like real in one ear out the other shit. They're not very good. But yeah, I wonder how
Baby Yoda factors into this. Like, is he like a Jar Jar Binks as far as collectors go? Because he's just like a little cutesy doll thing, or
I think they like him. I think reputation, generally attitude about Baby Yoda is positive.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I just feel like they took such a reputational hit in the like early 2000s with the Hayden Christensen ones.
They really did. Yeah, that was the first one I saw was the Phantom Menace. I was like, and I went to the theaters and I was
I get why you're like, I get why you don't fuck with Star Wars.
Yeah, I thought Darth Maul looked cool as fuck. You know,
Darth Maul does look cool. He was very new metal. He was very of the time.
Yeah, that was the most 90s. Yeah, the most 90s Darth.
But yeah. So anyway, this guy gets so into Star Wars shit. He ends up by 2019 he has like over 250,000 Star Wars things. Like,
wow, holy shit, that's
it's insane. So to explain some of this too, he ends up getting a job in the mid 90s with Lucasfilm. So he writes a book in 1992 called Star Wars From Concept to Screen to Collectible. He literally wrote the book on collecting Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, and what
is it to read in that book? It's like amass more than one. You know, like that. Repeat. You know, just buy one. I guess you need a playbook. You know, no, clearly there's shit you got to know to, know what you're looking for.
I guess it's maybe just like an index of stuff. Is probably my guess. But yeah, I really don't know. This kind of thing never really appealed to me, so I don't really know how it works. But
Yeah, I don't think I ever
he
had a collection at all of anything really.
yeah, I had Beanie Babies
Yeah.
at some point, but like I not even really as a collector, just because it was popular. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I had a bunch of
I don't
action
think I.
figures, but that was just because I liked
Yeah,
playing
but
with
it was
action
like to
figures.
play with,
Yeah.
not to like collect. Yeah.
I had a beer bottle
So
collection, but for a while. But that was like, when I moved back into my mom's house for a little bit, I took all my beer bottles with me, and that goes real quick from being like a cool thing on the wall to just a bag of trash. Like that's
yeah. Gets a little depressing after you hit a certain age.
Yeah.
The beer bottle collection. But yeah, so this guy, he he really set the tone for this whole community because he was such a preeminent collector, and also because he wrote this book. And his philosophy of collecting was that collections were meant to be shared and the hobby should be accessible. He said, quote, "It's not the stuff, it's talking about it and relating the stories to people. It's all about the fun I have interacting with fellow fans from all over the world." So he ends up getting a job at Lucasfilm. So he becomes the head of fan relations. So he like helps be like a street team for new releases.
Yeah,
he
that's
like
really
drums
cool.
up yeah, it's sweet, right? He like gives a lot of presentations at conventions on behalf of the studio. Like it's very sweet. So he in 1998 uh moves into a ranch in Petaluma, California. So he had all this stuff in his house and he kept needing to add to his house because it was too small. So he eventually buys this whole ranch and he names it Rancho Obi-Wan, and it becomes a museum. It's a nonprofit museum of all of this Star Wars stuff, which sounds fucking really cool. Like honestly, if I were in LA, like I would maybe go see that.
That sounds like that sounds like some.
It sounds neat.
I would pass up some more traditional tattoo or traditional tourist thing to go do that.
Yeah, it just sounds like a fun, weird, like roadside attraction type deal. But yeah, so he was like super excited for people to come. He, would bring them in. He lived there. This was his house. He was like psyched to have people come. He had 300,000 items. And Chris Cunningham, the guy who stole this shit, he would volunteer there as like a docent. So he was like leading tours in this place. And so they're like, this guy definitely stole from Steven Sansweet.
It'd be so easy to steal as a museum guy because you'd be like, and to your left, you can see it just like reach right over. Yeah. Yep. You know for a fact no one's looking to the right. Like this.
And so now, like, Tan starts putting things together where he says Cunningham often sold Star Wars memorabilia for prices that seemed a tad low. He'd often say he had nothing more to sell, then turn up shortly thereafter with a long list of items. The most troubling, unshakable memory was a condition Cunningham had stipulated when offering Tan the Boba Fett prototype. Quote, "No one can ever know you got this from me," he said. The stated rationale, when I read that, I was like, how dumb are you?
Yeah.
But then the excuse he gives is like, makes sense, where he says, the stated rationale at the time was that his other friends would be mad that they didn't get the offer. That like, I'm going to you with this.
Yeah.
I don't want people to know that I had it because it's going to make my friends jealous. So, this 4 days after someone took my Rocket Fett post, Cunningham texts Tan, the guy who's going to buy the Rocket Fett. And Cunningham says, there's a bit of a complication. You have to keep this between us, which I know you will. There's full trust here. A friend, Philip Wise, who owns Rebels Come, had one very similar, and it was literally stolen about 2 weeks ago.
Literally fucking stolen, dude.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't want to sell this because this guy had one stolen.
Yeah, the word literally right there is one of those like we were talking about tells online the other day. Like, dude, yeah, it was literally fucking stolen. Like, oh, it was literally yeah, you literally did it. Fuck you.
So, Tan says, well, did you see Philip in the last 2 weeks? And he said, no, he's in Texas. I'm in California. I didn't see him, but I don't want to sell it to you because I did get it in a legitimate sale from Philip Wise because he had two. So I have one, but not the stolen one, but I can't trace it to anybody else because it was him. So this is a total harebrained scheme. And Tan says, well, why don't you just give it back to Philip then? Like if you got it from him and he lost one, give it back.
Yeah, give it back. Yeah.
And he just says, well, I might do that, but I feel bad because we had a deal and you paid for it. And also, I can't let him know I was selling it because we did like a trade, and he said, if you ever sell this, I get first dibs on it back. So he made up this whole convoluted
he's got a whole
story.
lie for it. Yeah, that's like, you probably should have just denied all knowledge. Oh, it's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I got this somewhere else. That's, that's that.
Yeah, he really overthought it. So he says this complicated thing of like, he had to, I'm going to get in trouble for selling it, even though I got it legitimately, but I can't sell it, but I got blah, blah, blah. And then he says, quote, no idea how that could have been stolen. The last time I was there, it was locked inside a case. Unreal. And he has video surveillance. So it's like, you're explaining how, like, the things you needed to know in order to steal it. Like,
yeah, those lasers
you know
that go,
too much,
yeah,
dude.
he had the lasers going across the field. I had to Catherine Zeta-Jones under it, like.
Yeah. I had to do the fucking Vincent Cassell in Ocean 12, doing the little capoeira through that shit. Get my Boba Fett. Wise then gets in touch with after this whole thing. Tan tells Wise, like, yeah, this dude is, he knows that that he took it. So Wise then gets in touch with Cunningham and says, like, I know you stole this. And Cunningham folds like immediately. He feels really bad.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not like proud of his ingenuity.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so sorry. He confesses to everything. He says that he has stolen at least 3 times from Steve Stansweet, the guy who has the huge collection.
Yeah.
So this then gets taken. Stansweet does not take lightly to this. He files a police report immediately. They arrest Cunningham.
The feds are closing in. He just grabs the Boba Fett off the nightstand and puts it under his chin and hits the rocket.
Yep. Into his mouth like the kitty choke.
It chokes on it and dies. It's just full circle.
The way you want to go out if you're a Star Wars fan. That's how you want to do it. So, Stansweet files a police report. Wise, dude, I wish I could have been on this forum because the drama would have been delicious.
If anybody has like screenshots from the Wayback Machine, I bet this is good.
Forum drama is like one of my favorite things ever. So Wise then makes a post on Rebel Scum that says, folks, I know who stole the Rocket Fett. I'm so betrayed. It was a trusted friend of mine. He doesn't say who it is. But Stansweet goes public about it.
Yeah.
Says, Cunningham stole my shit.
Yeah. He's messy. He don't give a fuck. He's like, let's get. Yeah.
He does not give a fuck. He's like, this guy stole more than 100 items from me. It's him. And again, this guy is beloved in this community.
Yeah.
Stansweet. He is like the dude. And so everybody turns on Cunningham. And he is public enemy number one. Like, some positive things come out of this in the sense that some Star Wars collector groups hold fundraisers for Rancho Obi-Wan so they can get their stuff back. Mark Hamill tweets about this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and like, the call is out of like, if you have any of these, you should give them back. In faith,
imagine being hated by the fandom that you're so wanted to be a part of your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Now you're hated by the Star Wars fan community, and you were like, you're a villain now. That's gotta suck. That's just like, that was the guy's whole life.
It sucks so bad. These people are so mean to him. Like death threats, calling his family, calling his little kids.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Posting pictures of his house.
Damn.
Like,
he beat the odds and had sex with a woman.
He did.
Yeah. Like,
he was married.
They're just mad because this guy's getting laid. All right.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like, I imagine there are some people in this community who maybe are not the most socially well-adjusted. So maybe like take things a little far.
Yeah. Like at this point, they're like, they're essentially like full-grown adults who are pretty much adolescent-minded. They have a righteous cause to be angry about. I'm sure everything is justifiable. Post a picture of their kid's school address. He stole a rocket Fett.
Yeah. And so, like, one of the people who was talking about this was, a lot of people were just, like, amazed at how brazen this was. And they said, quote, stealing that Boba Fett is like walking into the Smithsonian and stealing an Ansel Adams off the wall.
Oh man,
so, like,
I mean, it's not, but I get you. It is a little different, but I understand the sentiment.
Ansel Adams worth a lot more than $20K. Like, as much as this Boba Fett is important. But yeah, so they're like harassing him. It's terrible. He's like persona non grata in this community that like he has really built his whole like social life in. You're absolutely right. And there's a little bit of sort of a sweet ending to this. I'm sorry this is a little bit of a short episode. We were a little pressed for time today, but so his friend, this guy named Nick Nunziata, who's another like sci-fi nerd. They met in film school. They're like cute sci-fi dork buddies.
Hell yeah.
He said like when this happened, he'd known Cunningham for nearly 2 decades, and he said he was like shocked by it just because like Cunningham was a solid dude, like good dad, very positive, wholesome seeming guy. But he does say, quote, when someone was telling a story, Cunningham would sometimes act as if he'd been there when in fact he had not. He also referred to moments like those as Cunningham CGIing himself into their memory. It's an impulse, which is such a Star Wars coded way to describe it. Because that's what George Lucas does with all those movies.
Yeah.
He CGIs shit into people's memories. So his friend said, like, I get it, because it clearly just came from like a need to be accepted and wanting to be like part of the group, right? Like he didn't want to feel like he'd missed anything, so he would be like, yeah, no, I was there, like I remember that. He also said, quote, he just did not have the ability to confront things, so he would say whatever he needed to say to keep the pressure off. It wasn't trying to lead anybody down a path or to hide something. I think it was just trying to keep the waters still. He didn't want the conflict. So yeah, this guy's just sort of like a fabulist. And the hypothesis is that he maybe started doing this because he lost his job unexpectedly. And because he was like bad at conflict, he didn't want to tell his family. And so he was stealing these to make money.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. And like,
which, like, honestly, as far as dude responses to losing your job and not wanting to tell your family, most of the time they just kill everyone. So if the alternatives are murder, suicide, or stealing Star Wars figurines, like, you made the right call.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's like a family annihilator and the a trust within a group annihilator, and I'll take the trust within a group annihilator over the family guy. Yeah.
But yeah, so like his friend's last name is Nunziata. He says, I was really skeptical about like maintaining a relationship with this guy, but like I hung out with him after like a little while after things had died down, because I know he was going through it with the harassment mob. And he says he did seem really contrite, and like he knows he fucked up. And he says, quote, I really think he's going to come out of this a better person and actually reset his life.
There you go.
So this all goes to court. This goes to trial. And Cunningham says, quote, I just wish there was something I could do to take away the pain that Steve and the others feel, and the shame that I brought on my family for putting them at risk for what I've done. I was a good person, but I've done terrible things to people. He also asked everyone, like his loved ones, not to come to court, because he was like, I'm like, I need to face this by myself. Which, I think is pretty admirable.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Sansweet, however, doesn't give a fuck. Sansweet reads a victim impact statement, which is like, lock him up. Like, he's so pissed. He says, in my 72 years in my private and professional life, I have never felt such a sense of betrayal. Although he has expressed words of apology, not for one moment do I believe that Carl has truly felt remorse for his actions against me and others. So he's like, this guy's full of shit. Throw the book at him.
It's funny how like times like this, like you kind of betray your true colors. Whereas in like this guy, he stole some shit. It seems like everyone is like, no, he seems like he's really taking it hard. He really doesn't feel bad about it. But this other guy who's like beloved, is really a super cool guy, has this minor trespass. And he's just like, you see kind of like a little peek behind the curtain. I'm a very big that certain behaviors I think are indicative of larger behavioral problems in people, which may not be correct, but that's how I look at things. Like Homeboy was like, yeah, he would lie about being in places that he wasn't at. Like that's like, I look at things like that. So the idea that the Sam Sweet guy, like whenever Like,
no mercy.
Yeah, no mercy. He stole a rocket Fett from my fucking ranch that has 250,000 pieces of Star Wars plastic. And like, I fucking, that's kind of funny.
I imagine all told, this stuff was probably worth like six figures. So like,
yeah, we're not talking about,
this is like a sizable theft, but yeah, that this guy is like, he has absolutely no compassion for this. Like, it's pretty intense. So Carl Cunningham gets sentenced to 12 months in jail, and 3 years of supervised probation. He ordered him to pay Sansweet $185,000 in restitution, so that must be how much the stuff is worth. And Cunningham is also paying Tan back, just like out of the goodness of his heart. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, Sansweet, it's like, he did steal from a museum. I'm assuming this shit is insured. Also, you're getting most of it back. Like, not that he should necessarily forgive, but it is like kind of crazy how intense he is. And then here's like a kind of a funny epilogue. So Carl Cunningham, because again, to everyone except Steve Sansweet, he is not at risk of offending again or being like violent or anything.
Yeah.
So he applies to a detention alternative program, and they're like, we're not going to put you in fucking jail with real criminals. Like, you Star Wars nerd with like actual people who've committed real crimes. So they give him a like an ankle monitor, and he does house arrest.
They put him in that jail. They just shut the door on the way, and like, oh, he's already dead. Holy shit! Okay. Wow, that's not. Yeah, he's that. Mark the time. That's like 15 seconds. He's dead already.
So he gets the ankle monitor. He ends up doing 6 months, and he, according to the article, he really like spent that time kind of rehabilitating himself. He like, it was very painful. It was very hard for him to leave the Star Wars stuff alone. Like, he described himself as an addict at one point, that like he was so into accumulating this stuff. It was such a part of his life. But his friend said, quote, after a brief time of denial, he accepted that part of his life is over. While he's in house arrest, he rediscovers his Catholic faith.
Oh, wow.
He starts teaching himself Latin. He gets into therapy, and he joins a support group.
Hey, you know what? Good for him. I you know, that it seems like that's again, like that the response to the problem of losing your job could have been a lot more tragic. He did that. Yeah. He feels like he, you know, he checked all the boxes. It feels like he genuinely is remorseful. I like that. You know, Sansweet is going to hold on to that rage. He's going to hold on to that hatred.
He might.
And it's going to, it's going to bring fear. And with fear comes doubt. With doubt comes loneliness, or whatever the fuck Yoda said. And he's going to turn into a fucking Anakin Skywalker. It's going to happen. He's going to go to the dark side.
Yeah, man. This might be his moment. He might be going to the dark side. He did say that this was like a very hard loss of innocence for him, where like, now he doesn't let anybody in the collection on their own. Yeah. Like, he had to change the way that he runs the Rancho Obi-Wan.
Bro, if you don't lose your innocence, if you don't lose your innocence till you're 72, fucking, you had a great life.
Yeah. You did all right. You can't get too mad. I agree with that. But yeah, he was just like, there's like a period of Star Wars collecting that is now over because this happened. And people don't have as much trust in each other, and that's too bad.
That does suck. You know, it's like they didn't even used to lock their doors, man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's the story of the Rocket Fett, Popular Mechanics, written by Alexander Halls. Check it out for more info.
Yeah, worth it. Yeah, don't do that. Don't steal. We always say don't steal from real people. You know.
I would argue none of this is worth it. Don't toys. Don't steal toys. Watch the first 3 Star Wars and Andor.
Yeah,
those are worth it. Other than that, can't say any of this is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Darth Sansweet is gonna come on the horizon. That dude's gonna usher in a whole new dark era for the fandom.
Yeah.
Well, shit. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you so much, Kath. That was fun. I loved that. You'll see the Patreon episode that we did coming up recently. We've been on some heist shit recently. So Star Wars, other various things we won't get into that are on the Patreon episode. Check it out. Guys, thank you so much. Speaking of our Patreon, if you like what we're doing, go to patreon.com/lie-cheat-and-steal. And you can sign up for 2 more episodes every month. You get access to our Discord server. We're on all the socials. We're at Lie, Cheat, Steal Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm on there too at PZTX. Kath, you got anything for us?
No, listen to my other podcast, What a Time to Be Alive. It has funny news stories. One guy loves Jelly Roll and the other guy loves magic cards, as discussed in this episode. That's all.
Hell yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be safe, be smart, watch who you let into your collectible Star Wars ranch, but above all, don't get caught.
Don't get caught. See you next time.